Good afternoon, everyone. Again, this is Mr. Bello, your math teacher for today. So, today we will focus on problem solving. So, problem solving involving quadratic equations. So, we will form a second degree equation out of the problems. Okay, here are the steps in solving word problems. In solving word problems involving quadratic equation, you may use the following procedures. First, read and analyze the problem carefully. Second, identify the given and what is asked in the problem. Third, represent the unknown using algebraic expression. And fourth, formulate the mathematical sentence. This will serve as the working quadratic equation. Then fifth, find the solution set or roots of quadratic equation using any method discussed in the previous lesson, like factoring and quadratic formula, or even completing the square. Okay, 6 is to check or substitute the obtained roots to the working quadratic equation. You need to check because some roots are extraneous or not considered as roots. Okay, let's start. Solve the following problems. The first problem is the area of room Hope 1 is 120 square meters and the length is 1 less than twice the width. Find the length and the width of the room. Okay, so in this problem, we need to let W equals width and length and L equals length. And since your length, it is stated in the problem that your length is 1 less than twice the width. So it will be in symbol, L is equal to 2W minus 1. So minus 1 is 1 less than the twice of width. So twice of width is 2W. That's why you have L, or the length, is twice the width less 1. It starts backward. Okay, and then since your area is 120 square meters, the formula for our area is length times width is equal to 120. Since your area of the room is 120. And then we will substitute our L. So you have 2W minus 1 times W is equal to 120. Your L in the previous equation was substituted by 2W minus 1. Okay, so it is now 2W minus 1 times W is equal to 120. Then, distribute W to 2W minus 1. So it becomes 2W squared minus W equals 120. Okay, then we transfer 120 to the other side, to the left side, it becomes negative 120. So 2W squared minus W minus 120 equals 0. Then we can use now factoring, quadratic formula, or completing the square. So I'll just use factoring since it is factorable. So the factors are 2W plus 15 times W minus 8 equals 0. Then, using the zero product property, we have 2W plus 15 is equal to 0 and W minus 8 equal to 0. So each factor is equal to 0. Then solve for W. So transfer positive 15 it becomes negative 15. Then divided by the number at the side of W, which is 2. So you have W is equal to negative 15 over 2. Then for the second equation, you have W minus 8 equals 0. Transfer negative 8. You have W is equal to positive 8. When you are transferring from other side, to the other side rather, you need to change the sign. So you have W equals 8. So this is the only answer. Why? Because we don't have negative length or negative width or negative measurements. So we just consider the positive one. So if your W is equal to 8, then we will substitute in our first equation, L is equal to W minus 1. So L is equal to 2 times 8, which is your W, minus 1. So your L is equal to 16 minus 1, therefore the final length is 15. So the length of the room is 15 meters, while the width is 8 meters. So this is now your final answer for question number 1. Okay, question number 2. Mang Juan owns a rectangular lot. The perimeter of the lot is 90 meters and its area is 450 square meters. What are the dimensions of the lot? So when we say dimensions, we need to solve for the length and the width of the lot. So first, we need to let W is equal to width and L is equal to length. Since perimeter, so that's perimeter is 2 times L plus W. That will be your formula for perimeter. Then, 2 times L plus W is equal to 90 because your perimeter is given in the problem. You have 90. So, the formula for perimeter is equal to 90. So, 2 times L plus W is equal to 90. Then, divide both sides by 2 because you have 2 there to simplify the equation. So, the equation now is L plus W is equal to 45. Divide both sides by 2. Okay, then for the second equation, since the area is length times width, so length times width is equal to 450. Okay, here, you notice that we have sum, which is L plus W, it's sum. And product, we have L times W. So we have sum and product. So we just use the shortcut to get the equation of quadratic. You have W squared minus sum W plus product equals 0. So we will substitute the sum, which is 45, and the product, which is 450. So this is now W squared minus 45W plus 450 equals 0. So your sum is 45, which is L plus W, and your product is 450, which is L times W. Okay, then, since this is factorable, you can use quadratic formula or completing the square. But since this is factorable, this is the easiest way to use. So you have W minus 30 times W minus 15 equals 0. In our previous lesson, you know how to factor 450. And then you get the sum, which is negative 45. So the factors are negative 30 times negative 15. Okay. So then, equate the two equations by 0. By 0 product properties, we have W minus 30 equals 0 and W minus 15 equals 0. Then, transfer negative 30, it becomes positive 30. And transfer negative 15, it becomes positive 15. But the real solution there is addition property of equality. I just make it easier. Just transfer, then change the sign. Okay, so if your L plus W is equal to 45, we can now substitute our W. So if W is equal to 30, then L plus 30 is equal to 45. Our L is 15. We substitute from the formula L plus W equals 45. Okay, if your W is 15, then you substitute 15, L plus 15 equals 45. So L is equal to 30. So the length of the room is 30 meters while the width is 15 meters. Since it is not stated that the length is longer than the width, it can be interchanged. So your length can be 15 meters and your width can be 30 meters. Both are correct, since it is not stated that the length is longer than the width. Okay, for the third problem, you have a piece of pipe costs 30 pesos. If the pipe is 1 meter shorter and each meter costs 1 peso more, the cost would remain unchanged. What is the length of the pipe? So here you are asked to look for the length of the pipe. So that will be our let. Let x be the length of the piece of pipe, then the cost is 30 per length of piece. So in symbol, it is 30 per x or 30 over x. So in the problem, it is stated there that if 1 meter shorter, so this will be your uh, expression or in symbol, 30 over x 1 meter shorter. The cost would not change. So the cost would not change, but each meter cost 1 more. So each meter cost 1 more. So the cost 30 over x will be added by 1. So 1 plus 30 over x or 30 over x plus 1. It can be interchanged. Okay, so this will be multiplied by the LCD, which is x times x minus 1. Then, how to multiply that? In the first fraction, 30 over x minus 1, or rational expression, you just need to multiply 30 by x because x minus 1 over x minus 1 is simply 1. So it will be canceled out. So this is now 30 times x equals, at the right side you have 1. So 1 doesn't have denominator. So all the LCD will be multiplied to it. So 1 times x minus 1. Plus the last rational expression, we have 30 over x. So since you have their denominator x will be cancelled. So the only expression that you will multiply to 30 is x minus 1. So 30 times x minus 1. So simplifying further by multiplying everything, so you have 30 times x is 30x is equal to x times x squared, and x times negative 1, negative x. Your 1 multiplier there is useless. So because any number multiplied by 1 is the number itself or the expression itself. So you have 3. For the last one, 30 times x is 30x minus 30 because 30 times negative 1. Okay. So here in this expression, you have 30x at the left side and 30x at the right side. So it will be 0. If you transfer 30x, it becomes negative 30x. So it will become 0. So to combine similar terms, you have 0 is equal to x squared minus x minus 30. The 30x at the left side and the 30x at the right side are cancelled. Okay? So here you can now factor because it can be factored. It is factorable. So the factors are x minus 6 and x plus 5 equals 0. Okay, so by zero product property, you have x minus 6 is equal to 0. Each factor equals to 0. And x plus 5 is equal to 0. Then transfer negative 6, it becomes positive 6. And transfer positive 5, it becomes negative 5. So since we don't have length as negative, this is the only answer. X equals negative 5 is extraneous root. Okay, so this is now the length of the piece of the pipe is 6 meters. That's the final answer. Okay, for the fourth problem, Jack and Jill working together can do a work in 6 days. If Jack takes 5 days less than Jill to finish the work, in how many days can Jill alone do it? So, in this problem, we let X be the time Jill take to finish the work? Because you are asked how many days can Jill finish the work alone. Then, X minus 5 is the time Jack finished the work. Why X minus 5? Because Jack takes 5 days less. So, less than 5, the time is less than 5. So, the time minus 5 is the time Jack finished the work. In symbol, 1 work over time. So, for Jill, you have 1 work over X. 1 work over the time of Jill, which is X. And for Jack, you have 1 work over the time, which is X minus 5. Okay, so this is your symbol, 1 work over time. Okay, according to the problem, they will work together. Okay, so you need to add their symbols to work. So you have 1 over X for Jill plus 1 over X minus 5 for Jack. If they work together, they can finish the 1 work in 6 days. So 1 over 6 or 1 work over time, which is 6. Okay, so this is now your working equation. So multiply everything by the LCD. So you have 3 denominators. That will be your LCD. So you have X times X minus 5 times 6. Okay, so for the first rational expression, you have 1 over X. Just multiply X minus 5 and 6 to your 1. So you have 1 times X minus 5 times 6. Plus, for the second rational expression, you have 1 over X minus 5. Just multiply X and 6 because X minus 5 will be cancelled out. Okay, so you have 1 times X times 6 is equal to, for the last fraction, you have 1 over 6. Your 1 there, just multiply X and X minus 5 because 6 will be cancelled out. Okay, so simplifying, you have 6x minus 30. Your 1 there is useless because any number multiplied by 1 or any expression multiplied by 1 is the expression itself. So you just multiply x minus 5 times 6. So x times 6, 6x, negative 5 times 6, negative 30. Then x times 6 is 6x. So plus 6x is equal to x times x, x squared, x times negative 5, negative 5x. Okay, so here we will combine 6x plus 6x because they are similar terms. So you have 12x. Then if you transfer 12x to the right side, it becomes negative 12x. Since you have negative 5x, it becomes negative 17x. There. So 0 is equal to x squared minus 17x. From 6x plus 6x, positive 12x, transfer to the other side, the right side, it becomes negative 12x. Then, add, because they have same sign, it becomes negative 17x. Where does plus 30 came from? So, the negative 30 at the left side, you transfer it to the right side, it becomes positive 30. Okay, so this is now your equation. X squared is as is. We just copy x squared. So x squared minus 17x plus 30. And everything at the left side is 0 because you transferred them at the right side. Okay, so this is factorable. You have factors x minus 2 times x minus 15 equals 0. And then, by zero product property, you have x minus 2 equals 0 and x minus 15 equals 0. Then transfer negative 2 and it becomes x equals positive 2. And transfer negative 15, it becomes x is equal to 15. Okay, therefore, x is equal to 15 is the only answer because your x here is 2 days. It's very fast and it cannot be subtracted by 5 which is less than 5, Jack is less than 5 days. So it becomes negative. So we don't have negative days. So the only answer is 15 days. So Jill alone will take 15 days to finish the work. Okay, that's all. I hope you learn from this lesson. You can repeat it again for you to understand it clearly. Thank you and have a nice day.